We are live from downtown Mill Bay, apparently without any screen, so. Yay! There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice, nice. Okay. Okay. And there's a bell. Please get all your notes from last day. Put away all your stuff that isn't that laptop's away. Your quiz, sadly, is not marked, but I do plan to have it marked today and then immediately start on the other class. You have a priority right now. And I will get that marked, but I spent some time setting up my worksheet because I have to report on you very, very soon. What? Why did that just disappear? What? Why is it flashing?
just across the hall.
Yes. Oh, now it's starting. Okay. Whether or not that comes online, I guess maybe I'll do notes up there. However, in a short amount of time, I have to sit in judgment and provide all of your advisors with my judgment of how well you're doing in class. The good news is that none of that will have a grade on it. It's too early for percentages, so we're not going to do that. But we are going to put out your learning skills, which I just remembered are also called ATLs. What does ATL stand for? Yeah, go. Approaches to learning, because they like to change the name, because if they kept the same name, you would be more likely to know what it meant. It used to be called effort rating. It was a reflection of your effort. They changed it to learning skills because your effort was towards your learning skills. And then they changed it to approaches to learning because your skills apply to how you approach learning. I can hardly wait to see what they change it to in 2 years' time. Yes?
What times is it?
Oh, reactions. So after that. Right. You okay? You're cold? You're standing because you're cold?
Yeah.
I will be visibly uncomfortable for you. I just increased the temperature.
No.
There we go. So, approaches to learning are judged on 4 different areas. Hello, why are you late for class?
Oh, I was so away. I was busy watching soccer right now.
Oh, yeah. Can't do that. That's terrible. My abbreviation is below in bracket. You should be getting your notes out. Below in bracket, so I'll abbreviate this as time, the next one focus. Time is you come to class prepared and on time, you meet your assignment and assessment deadlines, you have an effective system of keeping and tracking notes, handouts, and assessments. So you're organized and you're on time. Focus is during classroom activities. You stay on task. If I ask you a question, you respond. You listen actively, you're taking notes, you're asking questions, or you're offering solutions and commentary. You have a positive impact on your peers' ability to focus. Duty, taking responsibility for progress. You seek assistance, clarification, or extensions in a timely manner. So asking for an extension isn't bad. That's good, because now I know it's going to be late. And we can have a discussion about it. You apply feedback for improvement. You prepare for assessment. You stay current in the course. You use your enriched vocabulary in all your writing. So if you learn what the word exothermic is, you start using that word when describing a reaction. So you're actively practicing your new vocab. You've got short and long-term goals. You isolate your areas of weakness and you practice. Come to tutorials. And then there is your engagement. You contribute positively to the learning environment. You interact with members of the class and the teacher in an encouraging manner. You contribute to a structured discussion or activity. You have positive, helpful questions and commentary. Now, many students will assume this is, I put up my hand all the time. It is not. It is, there's a difference between someone who contributes positively and they're an extrovert, and there's someone who contributes positively and they're an introvert. You may never put up your hand, but you may interact with members of the class. I have you working at the board. You may be inclusive. You may be great at the table level. It may be that you don't put up your hand because that's something that you find a little bit awkward, but that's totally okay. I never put up my hand in class. But when I worked with groups, I like to think that I did reasonably well. So you don't have to think of it as that. It's just how you engage with other people in the classroom when we're engaging together. Now, all of these are not necessarily applicable to every single assignment, but you'll recall on the day of the test, I asked for your worksheet. Because the worksheet was given out ahead of time, you needed to do it in order to study for the test, and then you needed to mark it because they gave you the answers. And so what I evaluated you on is 2 areas. Your time and your duty. I said duty. That's the wrong one. That's the same one. Where is it? Not that one. Not that one. We want... There. Is it there? Open that up. So I took all your worksheets and I applied these 4 questions. These 4 questions went into 2 areas. So the first one was your duty, your take responsibility for progress. So it was a reflection. Did you include on your worksheet any notes or reflections of what you learned or what you found challenging? So this wasn't, did you complete it? This was, did you get any wrong and you noted why you got wrong and maybe some helpful hints for the future, from habitually to rarely? Then your accuracy of your self-marking. Did you make corrections? Did you provide initial notes with those corrections? Habitually to rarely. Now, for this one, this is only the first one, if you didn't provide any corrections, for the manager's time, the worksheet is for the quiz. So you're going to get another one likely today or tomorrow. I'm going to, like I did last week, make it due on Tuesday. But did I take it in on Tuesday? No, I take it in on our quiz day, which is either Thursday or Friday, depending on when we have our class. And given that today is Saturday and our next class will probably be Monday, that means it'll be Friday. Yeah. Whatever class you have Saturday, you have again on Monday until they rotate the schedule if they do that. They did that last year. So then I was looking like, can I read it, and is it clear what you're answering, or was I confused as to which scribble was yours? All the way up from habitually to rarely, and then it's for the quiz, so I'm going to hand it in later because I'm not quite done. Doesn't work because it's for the quiz. That's the material you need to understand for the thing that's summative or formative. And so submitted on time with all sections completed down to rarely, mostly incomplete or not submitted on time. Now, that being said, this is the first time that I did that. And I said in class, I'm going to be looking at your worksheet, but I'm not going to be marking it. And I just wanted to see where you're at, because this is what you should do regardless of the course, in every course. When you're in university, and I hate to always point, but it doesn't matter where you are, you'll be given tasks that aren't worth marks, but they're required to do well on the other things. So this is a habit I want to get in, so I'm going to be giving you feedback regularly on your learning skills. So another worksheet will be going up today or tomorrow. It'll have a due date for Tuesday. I'm not going to collect it till your quiz day, and I'll evaluate it in exactly the same manner. And if it's better than this one, then I'll just discount this one, because this is only the first one. So this is just one to give you a bit of, pay attention to this, make sure you're doing this. Now that was someone who wasn't here in the other class. This. So I'm first going to give out a sheet of paper that has your learning skills for duty and time on it. Ignore the numbers. Where it says letter grade, it will just give you an HA for habitually, OF for often, OC for occasionally, and RA for rarely. It'll also say things like 25%. Ignore that. This is not a mark grade book, but I put in numbers so that I can measure it quickly. So 4 is habitually, 3 is often, 2 is occasionally, and 1 is rarely. It does have a percent, but it's not adding on to your mark, so it's not a percent per se. I'm just using it to evaluate those two different areas. And then I will also call it your name because I will give your worksheet back, and then you can have it and compare it. And one person found that the mark on here was not the same as the mark on ZipGrade. It's on ZipGrade, and if I brought it over, you can double check that I did that correctly. Pablo. And Julian. And Jojo. Ooh, I can do it. Zachary.
Zach.
Zach. Ooh, email me that so I change it on all my marking stuff. And you need to put away the book. That should not be it. Julian GG. Not here. Anders. Not here. Riley. Mirhat. Vienna. Lucas. Liam. Sadness. Caden. Also military. Oliver. Jennifer. Hillary. Hillary's not here. Vic. Esther.
Yeah.
And Jennifer.
Mr. Newfield, are the quizzes already uploaded?
No, the quizzes will be up later on today. So this is just your learning skills. And Mick, I think this is you, right?
Yes.
Every time I stare at that, I see Lyle with 2 L's. So if you can make your M a little bit more like an M, it would really help you. I did eventually figure it out by eliminating everybody else. Oliver, Jennifer, Esther,
Yeah.
Liam. Liam's not here, so I should put it is. Mirhat, Riley, Hillary, Zach. Hold it. Hillary was another one of those not here.
I got those.
Julian, Anders. Yeah. These terrible boys that think soccer's more important than class. Hillary again. Katie, also not here.
It's like we have the exact same.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. There you are. Pablo. Lucas. Vienna. OC, yeah. Do you want me to put it back up?
Yeah.
OC is the third best one.
Pardon?
OC is like the third best.
OC's the what?
The third best one.
The third best. Third best. Toronto bus drivers are evaluated every year from best to least best because they're the best. So, someone in the other class said, Mr. Neufeld, if I went back and redid my worksheet because I didn't finish it and give it back to you, would you reevaluate my effort based on that? And I was like, sure. Because that, I have fooled you into studying. That sounds like a win for both of us. So as an example of the kind of thing I'm looking for, I didn't want to show someone's worksheet because that might be embarrassing if they did a good job and they didn't want you to know. But I'll take a random selection of old things. What am I looking for? Oh, beautiful. Okay, for something completely different, they've written in questions. They have marks next to the question, so they've marked it. And then they put little helpful notes beside some of them to say why they got it wrong. So you're not just constructing whether or not you got it right. That worksheet stays in your binder, and your notes, next time you're studying, will help you study for the test. Because you go, oh, I always forget that mass number is, to get the neutrons, you need to minus the protons from the mass number. Oh, I always forget that the atomic number is the same as the number of protons. Little helpful notes will help you out. Now, there was a really good one in here. Because I really just like that half the time that you get examples, my writing, have you noticed what my writing's like? Is it extremely neat?
No.
No, it's awful. I had a good one and I had it out. I think I showed it to the other class. Where did I put it? This just goes to show I'm not as organized as I think I was. I am not looking for your penmanship. It needs to be clear and readable, but beyond that, it's just helpful hints. Helpful hints for you can be different things. For some people, it's color coding, and they use highlighter and different colored pens. For those same people, there's another worry in which they write too much, and they just spend so much time writing things down and writing out the entire question that it's just make work at that point. They're not learning, they're just showing how neat their writing is. Make sure it's useful, short enough to get the job done that you'll remember next time what it is, and I can interpret it. Your answers themselves should be clear, and I will reevaluate on this next one. And if you go up, maybe I won't count this one. And if you bring this one back in, I can reevaluate it right away. But I'm not going to take it in. If you didn't do well and you're going to redo it, bring it to me during a tutorial, and then so if you do the work and then bring it to me, I'll put in a reevaluation for that. But again, this is not your mark. This is just how well you're doing. And if you're doing well in this, the theory is if you know how to learn, marks will follow. It is possible to be awful at learning skills and get 99%, because I know someone who was in Chemistry 12 AP, they had 98.7%. And at that time we were calling it effort ratings. They had the equivalent of a 0. In every single area, they were awful. They're disruptive in class. People in nearby classes probably did worse. It's because they were a black hole of focus. Everything just went down. They never studied, and they never did their homework. But they could look at a textbook and go, I get that, and ace the test. Some people just have brains that can do that. He went to university, did extremely well his first year, got to second year, got about halfway through, and completely dropped out, because he finally hit his wall. Eventually you hit a point that your brain's not smart enough and you have to work hard. And once he got to that point, he didn't know how to work hard. He'd never studied in his life, and all the structure and resources and support that are available in high school weren't there. He needed a study group and he needed to talk to people, but he was probably too embarrassed to mention that he now needed help and needed the equivalent of a executive functioning help, and he dropped out. He's doing perfectly well. I know him. He was a student in Privet House as well. He does fine, but he's always kind of one, like, I wish I would have gone, and I don't know how to tell him, because I have told him in different ways, like, you just need to learn how to study, and you're actually you'll be fine. So if you get those learning skills down now, that will help you later. If you already think like you know everything, get those learning skills now, it'll help you eventually. So that's my selling point for that. First up, then, we are going to, this is not yours. That's the other class that's giving you the answers. Or a type of answer. Oh my God. Look at all those folders. Where did it go? Science Den. There we go. We are block C. But I do want to do a demo. And if we're lucky, 2 demos today. Change of color. So there, oh, we got pretty much all of those. The only thing I'm going to add to these, difficult to reverse, change in color, new solid. New solid, you could also say new gas, new liquid. And so that can be summarized by new state. There's a change of state. Now, ice forming out of water is not a chemical change. So again, clues. Releasing energy, height, heat, light, sound, electricity, all those things. Okay, I just blasted you with learning skills. I like to listen to myself talk. So it's probably time that you got up and got to do something different. So I'm going to ask you to follow me carefully into the lab. And we're going to see a demo. Come. Okay.
I did it once.
There is a second demo I would like to set up. It will just take me a second to grind up some iodine. What I would like you to do, first, we're just going to add one thing. This first example I give to you because it's the most important reaction in human existence. No, that's a bad reaction. What is the mitochondria?
Cell.
No, that was reasonably good. Yeah. What chemical reaction occurs in the mitochondria?
Chemical to.
What?
Oh, that's the chloroplast.
No, yeah, that's photosynthesis of chloroplast.
Chemical to physical. Or kinetic.
No, not well. I mean, all reactions are kinetic in some way. Starts with the word cellular.
Regeneration.
What do you call breathing?
Respiration.
Cellular respiration.
That's what it's called in the mitochondria, doesn't it?
Yep. Because the whole reason you need to breathe, the total existence of many of your organ systems is just to feed the mitochondria. The mitochondria take in oxygen, burn glycogen and glucose, and then produce CO2. You need your lungs to take in the oxygen and breathe out the CO2. You need your circulatory system to carry the oxygen to it. You need to make different types of cells to do all that. Cellular respiration is what gives you energy. And the mitochondria is an invader. It has its own DNA. You don't make it. You inherited it in your cells from your mom. And so all your mitochondria come from your mom, which is why you're slightly more related to your mom than your dad. Because your dad did not provide any of the cellular mechanisms. And that particular cellular item has its own DNA. You don't make it. It was a parasite long ago in prehistory, and it just evolved a symbiosis with the eukaryotic cell. And now we rely on it for all of our energy. I would like you to come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more types of energy reactions, and then see what you can fill in there. This is physical change. There's no, and no. And then a bunch of examples. Fill those in as best you can. Talk with your partner. I am going to go get the next one set up because I got to grind something and it takes a little bit of work.
Can we write it onto the board?
Can you write it? No, on your notes. And then I'll ask for contributions. Jojo, your laptop should be away. Why do you have your laptop up? Your what? Oh, okay. Put it away in your bag. Sometimes students have it open because they're watching the live stream because they need glasses, and I'm always curious if that's the case.
Combustion. No. Combustion, corrosion, or exothermic.
No, bonds are
Combustion, corrosion,
Oh, yeah.
it's called take two and you get another one.
no
And
new substance.
Yeah, allergy.
reform. Allergies?
A reform?
No, we're talking about
Are broken. Oh, no bond are reformed.
Yeah, really hard.
Where's
Red
this
Bull-
one?
Red Bull gives you energy. It's like the cell splits. So it's like, yo, can you help us?
New
That's
Yeah.
like
substance are
a cell, two cells.
Wait,
no.
Yeah,
Photosynthesis.
new substance.
Yeah, I had it.
Photosynthesis works.
Those aren't reactions. Those are types of
Is
reactions.
photosynthesis one?
No, sorry.
Cellular.
An exothermic reaction.
I trust in more.
That's where you get heat from the reaction. The actual reaction.
Yes, it is.
Like combustion.
Is photosynthesis one?
Yeah. I'm gonna give up and not do it.
You're the second dumbest in this class. No, behind this.
Example of physical change, cutting a log
Okay,
in half.
guys.
Cutting wood.
It's confusion.
So it's like one, two,
Wood chopping?
one.
What's that
Just
called?
run through the class. One,
Hatcheting?
we're the bottom of it. Like everyone else.
I wanna say no, because those
Shut
are
up.
actually splitting.
Or another example could be putting a cube of ice, maybe putting ice cube trays in the freezer.
Hablo español.
What is it with two,
Remember I told you, whenever you put
I swear.
no, bro.
Yeah, I know.
What?
Line of bread, cutting bread, cutting bread. Divide. When you divide the languages.
Does anyone remember what it's called when you take two substances and they become one?
You can say la ropa.
How could you say that?
There's a different name for it.
Mixing. Combining.
Pardon?
Combining.
Just
Mixing.
There's like a scientific name for it, yeah.
Take it off.
Yeah, it's just
Slow,
visually it's just
steady.
the balance.
Oh.
What's an example of that would happen in cooking?
Yeah.
Yo, boys.
Cooking or baking?
Can you give me another example?
Wait, does it have to be a cellular function?
If I
It's just
put
a
rice
yeah.
Can
in a
someone
rice
can
cooker,
someone help me with that?
is that
I
okay?
don't think we should be allowed to know.
What?
It's
If I put rice in a rice cooker.
Zachary, I don't think we should be
Because
allowed.
I'm not a snake.
Rice
It's
cooker?
a foreign
Oh.
action.
Do you like for cooking rice?
I don't think that's allowed.
Well, if you're gonna use your laptop, you're gonna use it.
I use rice cooker.
This is for investigation purpose.
Don't worry.
Education.
What do you use it for?
Will you show your findings?
I suck at making rice. I've actually been banned
What
from
you
it.
got? Tell us.
So,
Decomposition is where you take one thing and make it two.
yeah, I'm
Your
on
guess is
put
as
rice on
good
the
as
stove and then I'll.
Yo, boys, relax.
And replace it.
You know, like she
Wait.
put it on the
Can you-
stove because it makes like
Can
a
I
sound
use
like this.
What's
so
that?
we turn on the fan.
Corrosion.
But
You know when you get
she
rust?
accidentally turned the stove
Oh,
on.
oh yeah.
Wait, rust.
And then,
You know metal? After it
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
It
That's
said
what
that it
it
like
is.
firemen, like
Combustion
it
is
was
boom or fire.
Wait, it's dissolved.
You put it
Dissolved.
really
You
fast.
said what's
I don't know. To me, it's cellular function.
It's
Oh,
so
no.
helpful. It's like, oh, I'm
Frustration
hungry.
tree.
Let me just put something in it and
They
do
show you,
it.
but then why would they just put cellular? Why would they just do like a big line for it?
Yeah.
Yo, don't copy me.
Bro, you can
No.
Don't copy me. I don't like people.
Yeah. Well, you're
Alright. If I can get you to stand,
No.
we're gonna go the fume hood right over there. Come on down.
But nuclear reactions are one atom you're splitting
so
or
excited.
squattering
Girl.
and combining like it reverse.
girl.
Thank you, really. Yeah, open houses, I'd say like if you're a new student, go to them. It's like it's a fun experience. But as a returner, I am never going again.
It's the first one.
Yeah. Go to all of them this year and then
Okay, what were some examples of reactions you came up with? Yep.
Decomposition.
Decomposition. Example? Decomposition.
H2O to hydrogen and oxygen gas.
Yeah, okay. I thought you meant like bodies.
Oh no.
Because that is also a decomposition and a chemical reaction. Any others? Julian? Photosynthesis. Oh, we went for all the biochem ones because you thought that's what I wanted. Photosynthesis is a very important one. It used to be that they used to think no life could possibly exist without the sun. And eventually it turned out to be incorrect. Yeah.
Corrosion.
Which one?
Corrosion.
Corrosion. Give me an example.
Rusty metal.
Yeah. So the formation of rust. Iron oxide, billions are lost every year as our steel turns into rust. Never happened. Another chemical reaction. Yeah.
Sorry, what is the example for decomposition?
Oh, H2O going to H2O2. But you could also say rotting body.
Nothing.
Yep.
Placement.
I'll give you an example. You're giving classes, but I want specific examples, which is why I'm adding on the other
I
ones.
think you can go from
Corrosion. I don't know if that's spelled correctly. Yeah.
Replacement isn't a fossil forming.
Sorry?
Isn't a fossil forming an example of replacement?
Oh. Fossil forming is not a single replacement reaction. I'll give you a single replacement reaction. A single replacement reaction would be something like AgI plus F2 goes to AgF plus I2. A single thing replaces one thing. Fossils forming is first you have the decomposition. It gets buried. Mud or stone forms around it. It decomposes and leaves a hollow. And then that hollow slowly accumulates rock from the water, which is actually just not even a chemical reaction. It's just a deposit. And then you have basically stone encased in stone. So the first part, the decomp is. We will pick up from there next day. Thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend. Yo, who just said my name? Sorry? No, you have to come see me during tutorial. Because it has to be at a convenient time.
I'm trying to go to like.
I'm on duty this afternoon. You come see me in the afternoon while I'm sitting down with my computer? Sure. But I'm going to want to sit down with it with you there, change it, and then give it back. If that makes sense.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah?
So for I just made this.
Yeah, you did. That's excellent work.
So do you want it?
Come show it to me in a tutorial, and I will add it into my evaluation. I will forget it right now, and I'm about to leave. But if you come to a tutorial, yeah.
And then you'll change the
Yeah.
boxing?
Yeah.
Or
Because everything is just evidence.
If I found like correct some mistakes that I'm having, are you
Yeah. Bring it to me in tutorial. That would be fine.
so Mr. Kelly, if I see you during tutorials, then I can change my learning skill.
Yeah, if you redo it. Also, the first one is, in my mind, also a learning one, so I'm going to see what people do in the next one. Yeah. Because most people aren't used to having, like, it didn't count for marks, and then he took it in, and now he wants all this marking on it. But I'm trying to train for university, where, like, if I mark things, I'm marking them so that you learn them. But if you're marking them, then you're learning and you do well on the test, which is actually the only part that really matters, because that shows what you know. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just trying to train you for grade 11.
I know, I remember. After
Is that learning skill grade?
It's not part of your grade. Learning skills here are different than grade.
So is contributing positively in the environment if like you notice me being like really nice to my classmates?
Sorry, what?
Like for contributes positively to the environment, could that be like you notice me being very kind to my classmates?
Yeah,